Hello and welcome to Auto Reviews. So what car can around 550,000 shillings get you? At this price you probably want a small car that is pocket friendly to maintain. You want it either as your first car or a car that will be suitable for venturing into the taxi business, or maybe a car for just commuting to work, then on weekends or on long journeys you have a bigger, better car. You have narrowed down to these three cars: Toyota Passo, Nissan March and Suzuki Swift, all 2013 models. That's what we'll be taking a look at today. We will compare these three cars and tell you which one is the most suitable option, so stay tuned. Before we start this comparison, I would appreciate it if you would kindly consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars. You can also kindly support the channel by donating. I'll leave the details in the description box. So let's begin this comparison by taking a look at the prices of each of these cars. You can drive away a Toyota Passo and Nissan March from around 550,000 shillings, depending on the mileage, features and overall condition of the car. These are the starting prices, so you may pay more if the car has got more features and lower mileage. The Suzuki Swift will set you back at around 650,000 shillings. Moving on to the insurance costs, the third party costs 7,000 shillings across the board, while the Toyota Passo's comprehensive insurance should cost around 38,000 shillings per annum. Nissan March will cost around 18,000 shillings per annum, and the Suzuki Swift around 24,000 shillings per annum to insure comprehensively. Let's now look at the engine options each of these cars come with. The Toyota Passo has got two engine options, a 1-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine as well as a 1.3-liter 4-cylinder engine. This car is available in either front or all-wheel drive. These engines can be paired to either of the three transmission options available. These are a CVT, a 5-speed manual and a 4-speed automatic. Moving on to the Nissan March, it's very straightforward. There's only one option, which is a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine paired to an Xtronic CVT transmission. This car is also available in either front or E4-wheel drive. This is a system whereby instead of having a drive shaft to transfer power to the rear wheels, there is an electric motor that only drives the rear wheels when traction is needed. Lastly, let's look at the Suzuki Swift, which has two engine options, a 1.2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine as well as a more powerful 1.6-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine. The car is available in either front or all-wheel drive. This is the only car in this comparison that doesn't have any engine with 3 cylinders. All its engine options are 4 cylinders. In terms of the transmission, there are 4 options: a CVT, a 5-speed manual, a 6-speed manual and a 4-speed automatic. Let's talk a bit about these engines before we move on to fuel consumption. The Toyota Passo's 1-liter is perfect for town roundabouts. It will return excellent fuel efficiency figures, but it's important to note that with 4 passengers on board, it will struggle even on a moderate incline. This is an engine that should not be overworked at all. Just drive it gently in town and it will work just fine. The 1.3-liter is better. It's more refined and more powerful compared to the smaller 3-cylinder 1-liter engine. Moving on to the Nissan March, its 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine is quite refined. 3-cylinder engines are always lacking a bit when it comes to refinement, but this one is better. It doesn't vibrate so much when idling compared to the 1-liter in the Toyota Passo. Again, just like the Passo, this is a car that is suited for city driving. Lastly, the Suzuki Swift 4-cylinder 1.2-liter engine is more fuel efficient than the 1.6-liter, but lacks power, especially if there are 4 passengers on board. It will feel a bit underpowered. The 1.6-liter is much better. It's faster in terms of acceleration and feels stable even at high speeds. Now let's talk about the fuel consumption of each of these engines. The 1-liter 3-cylinder in the Passo will give around 23 kilometers to the liter, which is quite impressive, while the 1.3 liter 4-cylinder will give around 21 kilometers per liter. Of course, these figures will depend on your driving habits. You will have to be very gentle on the accelerator in order to achieve these figures. The Nissan March's 1.2 liter will achieve around 25 kilometers per liter for the variants that have the idling stop feature, which will shut off the engine when you come to a stop to save that extra fuel. For the variants that don't have that idling stop feature, the 1.2 liter engine will get around 23 kilometers per liter, which is still impressive. I have heard of cases whereby the engine wouldn't come back on after stopping at a junction or traffic lights. Let me know what you think about this idling stop feature in the comment section. I think I will just switch it off and never use it because the fuel saving are almost negligible. It will be scary to imagine that you may have to spend a good sum of money fixing this feature just to add 1 or 2 kilometers to your fuel range. Lastly, the 1.2 liter in the Swift should achieve around 23 kilometers per liter, while the 1.6 liter will get around 16 kilometers per liter. The Toyota Passo has a 40 liter fuel tank, the Nissan March a 41 liter tank, and the Suzuki Swift a 42 liter tank. Now let's look at how much it will cost to service each of these cars. Expect to spend roughly around 6,000 shillings to service the Toyota Passo and Nissan March for the minor service, which should be done after every 5,000 kilometers. The amount you spend will depend on the quality of parts you choose to use as well as where you service your car. The Suzuki Swift will cost around 8,000 shillings, but its service interval is longer at around 10,000 kilometers for the minor service. But as I always say, it's better to service the car between 5,000 to 8,000 kilometers, especially if you tend to drive on not so well tarmacked roads or on murram roads. If you wait till 10,000 kilometers, you may find that dust has clogged the air filter, and this may result in reduced airflow into the engine, which in effect may cause the engine to have incomplete combustion and even cause misfires. Moving on to the carb weight, the Passo weighs around 970 kilograms, the March around 950 kilograms, it's the lightest car here, and the Suzuki Swift 1090 kilograms, which is the heaviest. Moving on to the extra features, these are basic cars, so they don't come with so many features. You can get the Toyota Passo with fog lights, smart start, automatic AC, navigation, alloy rims, a shoe rack under the driver's seat, and fancy colors such as pink, red and maroon. So this is quite a customizable car, especially in the exterior. The Nissan March can come with features such as the idle stop, automatic AC, navigation, curtain airbags and alloy rims. Lastly, the Swift can come with fog lights, alloy rims, xenon headlights, smart start, body kit and steering audio controls. So there you have it. These cars are excellent town or city cars. They are very frugal when it comes to fuel consumption. Let's quickly look at each car's downside, beginning with the Passo. This car is very dependable and there is really no major issue worth pointing out except for slight vibration when idling. This is actually a very minor issue. This is an issue that may mostly occur in the 1 liter 3-cylinder engine. 3-cylinder engines are normally not as refined as 4-cylinder engines, so this may be one of the reasons for that vibration, but it's not too much of a concern. Moving on to the Nissan March. Again, it's a reliable car, maybe just to point out two issues which are really minor. The first one is that there may be rattles here and there with continued usage. The body structure is not as rigid as some of the competitors, so rattles may develop, especially if you tend to drive frequently on uneven road surfaces. The second issue is in fact really not even an issue. I'm just pointing out that this being a city car that will most likely spend all its lifetime doing short journeys, it will most likely not suffer the CVT failure issues. Just drive it gently, don't strain the car, avoid unnecessary rapid accelerations, and the car will serve you well. This CVT is built for very linear power delivery, it's a car that is meant to be driven gently. Lastly, the Swift is also a very dependable car, no major issues worth pointing out. We can now take a look at the exteriors and interiors of these cars. They are all basic cars, but I think the Suzuki Swift looks better, especially with the body kit. That said, there's nothing much to talk about the exteriors. So let's move on into the interiors and find out which is the most spacious car. Going by the figures, the Nissan March seems to be the most spacious car. It has got a length of 387 centimeters, which is the longest here. The Suzuki Swift is the second longest, measuring in at 385 centimeters, and the Passo is the shortest at 365 centimeters. The Nissan March also has the longest wheelbase, which explains why it's the most spacious in the interior. A car's interior normally sits in between the wheels, so the longer the wheelbase, the more the interior space, and the shorter the wheelbase, the lesser the interior space. Two cars may have the same length measurement, but the one with the longer wheelbase will always have more interior space. So the Nissan March has a wheelbase of 245 centimeters. The Passo is the second most spacious car, having a wheelbase of 244 centimeters. And lastly, the Swift is the least spacious, having a wheelbase of 243 centimeters. These figures are almost identical, with only 1 centimeter difference between them. So looking at these interiors practically, can we still conclude that the Nissan March is the most spacious and the Suzuki Swift is the least spacious? I would say they almost have similar space at the back seats in terms of legroom. Even if there's a difference, then it's quite marginal. Let me know what you think. At the front, they all have decent space. The seats get manual adjustments. The quality of materials is all plasticky, which is okay. The back seats of the Nissan March fold down in a single fashion, so once they are folded down, no one can sit there. It doesn't have a 60-40 split design, which is quite a disappointment. The Passo and Swift have this feature, so you can fold one side of the seat while someone can sit on the other side. So I hope this has been helpful. I doubt you can go wrong with any car here. If you intend to do a bit of long journeys, then go for the Suzuki Swift with the 1.6 liter engine. It's very stable on the highway at high speeds and feels very planted on the road. The Passo and March feel a bit shaky at high speeds, so they are best suited for town usage. If you need a car that you will use for a short time then sell, then go for the Toyota Passo. It has the best resale value among these three cars. The Suzuki Swift has the lowest resale value here, so buy it if you intend to keep it for a long time. The Nissan March is also not a bad option, but just keep in mind that it may start to lose shape with time as it begins to age. As I said earlier, its body structure is not as rigid as the competitors. But if you love the car, don't let that put you off. Just drive the car carefully, avoid too much bumpy roads, as this may start weakening the structure of the car. Pamper the car and it will last. Which one will you go for? Let me know in the comment section. My pick would be the Suzuki Swift with the body kit and the 1.6 liter engine. For any inquiries, feel free to reach me via email or WhatsApp. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you in the next video.